to my channel. It's Ronke Reggie.
We're doing sweat-proof, heat-proof makeup because it's 100 degrees in Texas and our makeup cannot be slipping off, okay? I always double prime using the e.l.f. primer and the Nessa Yummy Skin Primer. You're priming your skin based off of your skin type. I have combination skin, so I'm priming my skin. And I know my skin gets oily sometimes, but you want to make sure you start off with a good primer, especially in the heat. My summer routine and my winter routine is very, very different. So I do different things for different seasons. But for the heat, yeah. Foundation, I'm using my NARS New Caledonia. The only reason why I use New Caledonia is because I like the cool tonedness of it, and because I'm a little bit more tan. Tanning thing during summer, love it down, but sometimes it can really offset your makeup. So lately I've just been mixing foundations and trying to get my shade from there. Sometimes I add a little bit of the Haus Labs foundation because I also really love that one. But New Caledonia is honestly giving more of the coolness to it. And one thing that I've noticed about this foundation in particular, it's not going nowhere and it's really good with heat. Okay. All right. When that's all blended out, I'm actually going to set my makeup. Gotta start setting already. I'm using the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm so that we can set the foundation and set between each step. But when you're setting between each step, make sure you're using a setting spray that is actually a setting spray. It says that it's a glass setting spray, but it doesn't really set. It hydrates the makeup so that way your powders are not going to be too powdery. So you have to know the difference between the setting sprays so that you know which one to use, and you're not using the spray that is actually meant to hold your makeup to try and melt the powders, because everything is formulated very differently. The way you set your makeup is really what makes or breaks you being able to stand the heat. It's not about the setting sprays, it's about the powder. You have to be very strategic with the powder you use because every powder has a different way it sets and every powder has a different formula. I love the Huda Beauty powder. I use the one in Pound Cake because I like a bright under eye. I'm in love with the Kosas powder. I use this as an all over setting powder. This is in the color Translucent Velvety Mocha. The difference between loose powder and pressed powder is that loose powder, I generally feel like it sets a little bit more than pressed powder. But at the same time, if you have dry skin, you might just only need a pressed powder. I do all my powders first and I press them in before I actually go in and bake. The areas that I put my concealer, I use the setting powder. So any bright areas is where I use my Pound Cake, which is like a translucent powder. And then any other areas, I use the Cloud Set after setting all the other things. Anything you do with cream or liquid products, you have to set it with powder. If you do not set it with powder, that's when your makeup is going to slip off. Set it with powder, then go in with the setting spray. You're locking everything in. Everything is about locking in, locking in. I use the Kosas powder more of like an eraser and a blender that blends everything together because this one is colored powder. And it's colored loose powder that I feel like goes really well with everything. After you're done, if you set properly, you have to use setting spray. Sometimes, especially when I know that I want a dewy look, I use this. But today I'm going for all matte look and I need this to last all day. So I'm going to be using my waterproof One Size setting spray. You need to see how this routine holds up, and I'm going to show you how it wears all throughout the day. My face looks like at 9:16 p.m. I did my makeup at 9 a.m. So you can tell that my makeup is summer sweat proof. I was very much so out all day in the sun and my makeup didn't budge. I actually think that it became a little bit glowy, which is great. So yeah, what is that, 12-hour wear?